You said that the AIs are creating rooms where it can do business processes in the room to do calling of customers and things like that.
Messaging, chatting with customer. Right now, the real-time API is still very expensive, right?
Yeah.
It came out yesterday. It's very, very expensive, and is one way among many communication ways.
Yeah.
Right, ways to communicate with customers. For example, chatting, messaging. So how about if a customer go to our website, and so we need on the website we have a live chat widget. So, but employees are using this platform for internal communication. How about using exact internal tool to communicate with customer, so they don't have to go to another software to communicate with customers.
So if a customer sends you an email or calls your phone line, right? What is the
it's
tool
happening
doing?
in this one.
So
on
it
our
shows,
side,
it shows up in this tool.
Exactly, and they stand here. They stay in the system to communicate with the outside world.
Very cool.
Yeah, everything is one system.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of this concept.
Yeah. So you said that AI is overnight. Right now, your engineers are sleeping, and you can spin up a whole bunch of tasks for the AI to code.
Yes.
And how good is it at that for you, for your purposes, right?
It's really good. It's getting to the level of scary good. Yeah, scary good.
And do your human workers have to check it in the morning when they arrive to work?
That's exactly right.
Okay, so they see, okay, the AI wrote me a bunch of code for a feature request that I put in, and they have to look over it, make sure it works, make sure the code is correct?
Exactly. That exactly.
How often is it incorrect?
I think 80% of the case is correct.
Is correct.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So no additional work needed. Your AI engineer overnight wrote you some code and it's just fine.
So we have a concept, before AI, or even now with a lot of AI. So what is the software development cycle? It all starts with human. From planning, designing, and coding and testing, right? So someone, analyze a request and fire up a feature request. And human, usually some junior developers start coding, and commit and ask a superior to review the code, right? And then there's a lot of communication back and forth. Hey, you do this, well, and this you need to change direction and so on, right? So there's a lot of, feedback along the development of the code.
Yeah.
Right? We can mimic that with AI. How about not starting the code with human, but with AI? So AI can analyze the request, start coding, committing the system. Human can come in and say, hey, this is good, this is not good, can you try this? So we find a way for human to provide further discussions with AI to find a better way. And then AI can take that further inputs and then start, recoding, start making changes. It's completely similar to the way human work, but with the lightning speed.
Yeah.
Of computer.
Yeah, you can have 10,000 agents all working at the same time, right?
You can see on the screen here.
Yeah.
These are all AI agents. I mentioned to you, right?
Yeah.
10 p.m. there, which is now, I think, 2 hours and a half ago.
Yeah.
So 3 hours ago. So you can see all there is happening here.
Your AIs are doing a lot of work.
Yeah, all of them are AI agents. right? You mentioned a lot. You heard people mention a lot about agentic AI, AI agents in customer service, in many areas.
Yeah.
We have AI agent everywhere, in particular in the code base. So AI agent is like human developer.
And how good a human developer?
Depending, of course.
Because you
right?
said last year it was like a junior developer, and this year you said it's like a senior developer, right?
Things have flipped. Last year, junior developer was having a great time because they had an AI coaching them, right? Teaching them, this is how you do, right? They can ask AI anything, so that they can, code faster. And instead of relying only relying on human superior, right, to guide them, where to go, they can ask AI. That's what they had last year. This year, the AI can work directly in the code base. So AI has become a direct competitor
to a junior developer.
Right? So a superior now has two choices. Relying on junior developers, hey, you have to ask AI. If you don't know, you have to ask AI, code, and then ask me to review. Another option has a right to the supervisor. Ask AI to code. Right? So
and what's doing the coding under what's your architecture underneath? What model are you using? All ChatGPT or?
Yes, we obviously
or do you have Claude or
we
Gemini
don't have a privilege of having access to the talents and also the capital and to develop our own model.
Yeah.
And we don't have and we don't need to do that.
No.
I'll show
Most people don't.
Most people don't.
Do you have Sam Altman got $6 billion yesterday, right?
6.6.
How many? Yeah. How many
6.6.
people have $6.6 billion in their wallet? Yeah.
So I actually introduced. I'm indebted to this guy, Hon Gotter. I'm calling out, Ada.
Yeah.
This is among the best, if not the best, AI coder agent.
Okay.
Right.
Is this your agent that you made, or is this Paul?
So this is Paul
Okay.
making this agent, and then we use it. I think the way we use it is very unique. That's the secret sauce. So everybody, this is becoming very popular among the developer community.
Yeah.
But I think the way we use it allows us to do amazing things. I haven't seen other people doing like this.
And how are you using it that's different?
Yeah, so it's starting with the software development cycle concept. I actually tend to bet on AI.
Yeah.
Not only able to do work, but also able to make a lot of smart decision making. So the secret sauce starts with that. So we asked, how about, so right now the cycle of software development is a few months a cycle, right?
Yeah.
A few
Got an
months,
idea for a new feature, it takes a couple months to get it.
A few weeks, a few months.
Right.
How can we spin it, increase the speed 5 times, even 10 times? And then I can see that it can actually increase the speed of that cycle 100 times.
Whoa.
What if we want to spin this, right?
Yeah.
The other day, I think YC Combinator mentioned that, the only mode for startup is speed.
Yeah.
That's the only mode you have.
Yeah.
Right? How can you increase the...
If you have a customer and you keep giving them new features, they stick with you, right?
Yeah, yeah. But they won't...
If the other person's doing 10 times more features,
Exactly.
Or helping the customer out or doing something very specific for a customer. Right?
Exactly. But you don't want to turn around, invest a lot of resources and turn around after a quarter.
Yeah.
You want to turn around in 2 days.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Customer asks on Monday, you want to give them a fix by Wednesday or Thursday, right?
That means that you actually have to spin the cycle by some X, right? So if you want to do that, you actually need to redesign the architect, the development architect. So we start with that, with that way of thinking, that vision, and we think that how about if we start with AI rather than with human. Human is slow.
Yeah.
Human is smart, but human is slow. How about if we start everything with AI? So then we develop a concept we call AI codes first.
AI codes first.
Yes, not human codes first. Right?
I love it. I recommend people using AI first for everything.
Exactly.
Not
so
just coding.
I started to talk
buying
about
a
this
house,
concept.
ask AI. You're buying a car, ask AI.
Yeah.
Your wife is on the floor dying, ask AI. It'll help you save her life. You know?
Yeah. So I started to mention this concept on X, on Twitter, like a few months back, like 2 months back. So AI goes first rather than human goes first. So we started that. We thought it was great, but actually we can even improve it. How about AI goes first, and then AI goes next?
Refactors it.
Refactor and then continue the discussion. So AI goes first. It fire up, it commit the code, turn the code, with CI/CD, continuous development, continuous integration tool in Git, can turn into a build, right? A release, and then instead of relying on
So soon I'm going to get features on my iPhone or whatever on apps that were completely AI built.
Definitely. Right now we can start
A human
seeing,
might have looked at it and said, okay, that looks good. Yeah, let's
people
ship it.
talking about, you can code in English. That is happening right now in our team at least.
Yeah.
We see a lot of demos.
And your team doesn't even speak English.
We do. Our team is quite. Our team
They're
is
in
actually,
Vietnam.
Yeah, they're in Vietnam, but our team is quite a bit special.
Yeah.
English is actually official language for communication in our team.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people make a lot of mistakes, in grammars, in spellings and so on. It doesn't matter. But we try to be on par with international teams.
Yeah.
So
and now we're getting really powerful translation tools, right?
You can see in our code base everything is actually in English, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So this is all AI doing all this work?
For things happening in the last 3 hours, everything was AI.
Yeah. And then the human comes in and goes,
Next
okay,
morning,
you
yeah,
wrote
they
this
start-
code, you wrote this code, we need to look at it and
Yeah.
make sure it's validated, right?
Exactly. And then they can add, hey, this is good, this is not good, try this. So human coders over time have become a navigator
Yeah.
instead of a typer.
Yeah. A navigator instead of a typer. So they're clicking on results and just...
Yeah, and tell them, hey, this is good. Keep doing that. And this is not good. Try this.
Yeah.
So I like to say to the team that over time, you guys become a navigator instead of a driver, instead of a typer. And we are seeing this.
100 times faster.
100 times faster is possible.
It's crazy.
For the past 3 months, we see 3 times faster already.
Yeah.
Just for the past 3 months.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's
All
really
right.
crazy and it's scary.
Yeah. And is it, does the AI keep up to date on the news? Like you said, OpenAI just released a real-time API. Does it read the news reports? Like, oh, there's a new thing I can do. I can add that to my app.
That's part of the
That's what I want.
that's part of the reason why we
There's
started this conversation, actually.
Yeah, there's 5,500 companies on my X list, and I don't even have all the companies, right?
We can actually do that. Later on, I can show you.
Yeah.
Maybe I can show you right now. Part of it is what I can show you right now. Let's say right now you probably have a team, but let's assume that you are on your own.
Yeah.
Doing all kind of stuff, right?
Me and Irina,
Yeah.
and Grant, so 3 people.
A lot of research. You need to do a lot of background research and so on, right?
Yeah.
Summarizing and so on. How about if you can have a team of AI agents doing a lot of stuff for you?
I'm into that.
One of the team is a team doing research for you. So
See that I wish I could hook that up to my X list, because then I could say, hey, go and research these 5,500 companies and go and find
showing you
out
right
how
now.
much revenues they have, or how or whatever, right? Whatever you need to know.
I'm showing you part of this right now.
Okay.
Let's say if you have a request, right? I'm not sure how well we do.
Yeah.
You can shoot an email to your request to this
Research at
realtimex.co.
Yeah.
And what do you need? Tell me, I can type.
Can you find me companies on the S&P 500 that have P to E ratio of less than 20, but still are growing fast?
Okay, great. 5 companies
On S&P
on S
or at NASDAQ or whatever
yeah.
market you want
on
to
the
find.
market.
On market.
Right, on market.
On stock market or whatever you call it.
Stock market.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that have a P to E ratio less than 20.
EP.
P
PE. Yeah.
P/E
PE.
ratio or whatever
Yeah.
of less than 20.
That's 20. Okay.
Yeah.
And I can say that we can even all. Let's say audience. What is it? Research. What is the audience of this research?
Business managers.
Business manager. Yeah.
Yeah. CEO. CIO.
Yeah.
CTO.
And
Executives.
we can say language, right? If we want, it can, the report come back can be in any language,
Yeah.
a language, so Spanish, French. So let's say
I bet it could even write a report with emoticons. I did that one time. ChatGPT will even speak back to you. If your kid is using a lot of emoticons, you can copy them and put them in a ChatGPT, and it'll tell you what the kid's saying in emoticon language,
Yeah.
right?
So
It's
imagine
crazy.
we fire up this request to the
Yeah.
team,
English.
okay?
Yeah.
Without AI, it's pretty good for the team to come back in, let's say, a few days
Yeah.
with maybe 5 pages, a 5-page report or 10-page report, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
I just said.
Okay. You just sent it?
I just sent it.
All right.
Yeah, and of course, this is a long-running task. So usually we can expect a work done with after 15 minutes.
15?
15, yeah.
Yeah.
1-5.
Interesting. Then you can refactor and say, I need more, right?
Sure.
And then send it back and I'll come back.
Depending
with a
on
better
how
list.
good it is, right? I mean, we will see.
Yeah.
But let's see.
So what's going on right now that we sent this? This kicked up a bunch of agents that's going
Yes.
over to the S&P and
GPT researcher,
GPT researcher.
a team of researchers doing a bunch of stuff. First thing they do is they pick up the request in email. That is actually the email UX I mentioned to you, and part of the reason why we're actually having this conversation, right? So first agent pick up the email, analyzing the request,
Yeah.
and turn it into a beautiful prompt, a beautiful proposal, beautiful request. Because what I just typed, this so abstract,
Yeah.
right? Even with typos and so on. So the first agent will improve the request, and send the request to another team. Another team would say, hey, this we need to go search.
Yeah.
So they implement search tools, get back a lot of materials, raw materials, and pass it on to another agent doing data analysis. At the same time, another agent is developing the outline, research outline. Right? Another agent, this is multi-agent framework.
Yeah.
So another agent, analyzing the data and turn it into and write up first draft.
This is nice because it lets normal people use agents without knowing anything about agents, right? Because we didn't know anything about agents there. We just said, hey, can you find us all the companies on the S&P that have a PDE of 20?
Yeah.
Right?
Behind the scene, the agents work very, very in a very similar way human working.
Yeah. This is something I said on stage, that to think agentic, you have to realize you have a new employee, whether they're a junior or an intern or what, it doesn't matter. You have an intern, let's call it.
Sure. Assistants.
Right? And you have to understand how to talk to them a little bit, but not much. We just
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And the advantage of agents is they can do all their work all at the same time, right? So if you have a list of 5,000 names and you need addresses for them, they can do that all at the same time. A human has to go one by one by one by one, right?
And then you cannot easily scale your interns.
Yeah.
But you can pretty easily scale your AI agents. I think that is the scary future for human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's changing my life already. It's like, what do I do with these things? That's the real hard thing. But you've given me some answers that,
Yeah, you now can have a lot of assistants around you.
And we saw a spreadsheet a couple of weeks ago that uses agents to fill in the spreadsheet and stuff like that. There's a lot of different approaches to this.
Exactly. I for that kind of spreadsheet AI, I think it is gaining a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But given we work with Asian already. This is not an outsider talking.
Yeah. I
am quite skeptical about the real usefulness of this kind of thing, right? Because usually we have a lot of feedback, and not always we need speed, right?
Yeah.
We need quality as well. So quality versus speed and also we need to factor in the cost.
Which is why you have several different agents doing several different things to try to make sure the quality is high.
Exactly. Remember, OpenAI has different pricing for long-running, low-response APIs, right? They call batch API, and the cost is way cheaper. And I think people tend to neglect, tend to ignore that part. We ask, small team.
Yeah. Mostly,
try to survive with our own resources in Vietnam. How can we compete with resource-rich startups in here? So we have to optimize everything, in particular the cost. And
this is why your agents run overnight?
Yeah.
Because they can run slow and use cheap resources.
Exactly. We don't use the right model for the right thing. Even now, O1, O1 Preview, O1 Mini, most of the tasks we don't need O1.
Yeah.
So why do you use O1 if you don't need it?
Yeah. Use a cheaper model, smaller model.
Use the right model for the right thing.
Are you using any models locally?
We do.
You do? Okay.
And,
so are you using Llama or Mistral or?
A lot. Gemini, DeepCode, DeepSeek. So the idea is that you would be able to switch models very easily and even automatically. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
So
your AI can pick the model it's going to use because it knows something about the model. Oh, this one's good at this kind of thing.
We call model routing.
right? Like looking up S&P 500, one model might do it really well and cheaply, and another model does another task better.
We call model routing.
That's real interesting. Model routing.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you just rely on one API key for everything, then you pay a lot of money for expensive models without needing it.
Yeah. For business people who aren't in this world yet, they're still doing things the old way. How do they have to change? Let's say they download your tool. How do they have to change culturally, or
definitely?
Tell us a little bit about how you get in the new AI way of working instead of the old human way of working.
What's the most difficult thing for business to do? That is change.
Yeah.
Establishing a new habit is so difficult, right? Therefore, 90% of the digital transformation projects fail.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to ask people to change.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you deal with that? And we're struggling, having customers, embracing changes, right? Even the business owner have that need, but they can not make the employees change, and therefore they fail. So one way of doing that is actually how do we deal with that? And I think the best way to deal with that is not to ask people to make changes. Even they don't need to use this tool. We can go back to the old way. If you need something, send your request to this email. Behind the scene, our team will do, and the team is AI. So we tend to invest. Invest in this UX. By doing that, you can just keep doing the way you like. If you wanna, if instead of using Slack, you want to use email. A lot of businesses are using email. Fine, you can just do that, but copy this email. Right, like the research at redesigning.co. So we received that request, and then behind the scene we'll do it for you. So it's like service providing economy, but the AI agents are the providers.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting. What else do we need to know about working with the AI, with your tool in particular, but agents in general?
In general, I think we can start even without the tool. I think it's the mindset, AI first mindset.
Yeah.
And people start to talk about AI first. What do they mean?
Force yourself to use it for everything.
Force yourself and force your team.
For everything. You're eating at a restaurant, ask AI what you should eat.
Yeah.
It's not that you're going to listen to it, but by forcing yourself to do it for everything, then you get into that mentality of how good is it at certain things.
Right.
Right. And it's pretty good at telling you what to eat.
Exactly.
I took a picture of a menu of a logo on a menu in a restaurant in Prague, so not here in Silicon Valley,
Sure.
right? Way far away.
Sure.
It told me what to eat. It knew what was on the menu because the menu is on the website, right? And the AI could read the website and tell me what to eat.
AI can even,
and it read all the Yelp reviews
Exactly.
and all the other reviews, right? And all the blogs and whatever else was out there about this restaurant.
Yeah.
It knew the restaurant pretty well. The locals all said, yeah, this is exactly what I would eat here.
So it's so natural for you.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult for almost every business.
Most people aren't like that.
Most people, and in particular in an organization where you have a diversity of people with different mindsets.
Yeah.
So how do you help them establish a new mindset? My friends ask me because I'm AI first. I'm AI obsessed. So people start to come to me asking for advice, and to share with the team. And I found that one of the way to have people realize this is to ask this question: what is AI to them? This is a very basic question, but I think most people don't think about that. They don't answer it right.
Yeah.
What is AI to them? Most people I heard say that AI is a tool.
Yeah.
To me, it's more than that.
It's an intelligence.
To me, AI is...
And that could mean a lot of things.
Yes, and this is key. I
Yeah.
think to me, this is key. This question, that basic, that simple, that seemingly stupid question is actually key.
Yeah.
What is AI to you? To me, AI is the extremely smart consultant, which is very accessible. I don't want to use the word cheap.
Yeah.
It indeed very affordable.
Yeah.
Right? But it's very different from a very smart human consultant, is that this consultant, this AI consultant, not only can give you advice, but can do stuff for you.
Oh, yeah.
No human consultant will do tasks for you, will do things for you. They
Yeah.
give them advice, they take money, and they go. And they are very expensive. Right? So if we treat AI like this, we will see the full potential, the full values.
Yeah.
Without AI, assume that there's a human with the capabilities of AI right now.
And the problem is everybody's going to have a different answer, right? If a photographer sees AI as a photographer or an editor, a photo editor or something like that, right?
So let's say if you don't have AI as you have right now, but last year you say that, hey, your CEO come to you and say that I'm just met this person, is so intelligent, we need $500,000 to pay for him to stay in the team for a week. Would you say yes or no to pay? I think most of the time people will say yes. Because otherwise, if you don't say that, yes, that consultant will go to the competitor.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say you pay $500,000 for this consultant to stay for a week.
Yeah.
You have to try to make use of his time.
Yeah.
Or her time. Right?
You probably hired them to set up SAP so you can do inventory or something.
Exactly.
Like
Set
that,
everything, right? Try to make
Yeah.
use of every second of their time,
Yeah.
so that you can, retrieve, all the costs that you pay for this expensive consultant. We have to treat AI like that. We take for granted that,
Because it's so cheap.
it's so cheap, and we take for granted
Instead of
that,
500,000, it's $1.
Right? So that's
or maybe
actually
20 for all the
what I
API.
advise. That's what I advise, my friends, my business friends, that, if you treat AI like that, you will appreciate the value.
Yeah.
And then you can start, talking to your team and then start embracing AI into your everyday work. Otherwise, if you say that, hey, so it's affordable, you can just get some answer back. Then you don't see the value. You cannot force the team to embrace.
So treat it like an expensive consultant.
Exactly.
That's a great tip.
It is.
Yeah.
A consultant, right? Very expensive. Assume that you have to pay millions
Yeah.
to get this consultant. Otherwise, other people will grab him or her.
Yeah. It's like having Sam Altman sit with you, He's expensive,
Yeah, definitely.
right?
Yeah. We will take.
The AI knows more about AI than Sam Altman does.
Yeah,
I bet if I asked AI some questions that Sam Altman doesn't know,
for sure.
even though he runs OpenAI, the
Sure.
AI knows a lot of things Sam Altman doesn't know.
Definitely. Is he
It knows
smarter?
everything in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've been to Smithsonian, 5 times in my life. I don't know anything about anything in the Smithsonian, but the AI knew everything. Everything.
That's the whole point. And people tend to miss that because, it's so affordable.
Yeah.
It's so easy. So people don't see the deep values in that.
Yeah.
So treat AI as a consultant. Seemingly very expensive consultant.
Yeah. Or a lawyer, you're paying $1,500 an hour too, or something.
Exactly.
Like
you have to.
By the way, it does your law too, right?
Exactly.
Do you have law features in here? You know, oh, check out contract. Check out, build me an NDA. You know, there's all sorts of legal contracts that, write me a contract for, selling this company 1,000 widgets. You know, something like that. Right?
Most of the time, AI can do 80% of the work, right?
Yeah.
And for you, instead of spending hours doing 100%, why don't you just do 20%?
Yeah.
That's always, that's the concept that I actually use to navigate our development into products.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
for writers, they're good editors.
Definitely.
Hey, take my book and read it and tell me what I did wrong, or tell me how to fix my proofread. It's way beyond proofreading, right? It'll correct your writing. It'll say, "Oh, you use a lot of run-on sentences or whatever. Here, fix them."
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I think we have to come up with some ways of thinking and putting into simple sentences for people to really see, the value of AI, and I think that's the only way, to tell people to embrace AI. People start talking about AI first. AI, everything is AI, but how do they translate it? Business owners, they wish to have that, but it's so difficult to translate that into every amount.
It's hard. My wife doesn't use AI, right? And I keep preaching, hey, why don't you use AI for everything? She doesn't get that, right? Yeah. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to add that extra step onto, like even asking at a restaurant, what should they eat? They just want to look at the menu and order something, right? Yeah. They don't want to ask AI first to see what AI would say before they look at the menu and ask them what to eat.
Yeah. And I think that's actually in a team, that's the danger of, so in a team, I see that there are three groups of people. The one, the pioneer, they just see, they can envision, what the AI will look like.
Yeah.
And the not very good people, the bottom, group, they couldn't see they couldn't be visionary, but they listen. Right? They trust, I trust my leadership, and they say that very reasonable, and I trust that. And there's a group, pretty good people. And those are the most difficult. I think those are facing the biggest challenge, because they're good enough to trust themselves. At the same time, to be skeptical about, what is happening.
Yeah.
Those are
the resistors.
Yes.
I hit them all the time.
The resistors.
There's too many hallucinations. Or I didn't get a good enough answer. One time I asked AI, my answers are better, right?
Yeah. So those are, pretty good, but not good enough to be visionary to see, what is coming, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it can hallucinate, but what is the gap between GPT-4 and GPT 3.5? This, right? And the development cycle is weeks.
Yeah.
Not year anymore. If we talk, if we take into account, the entire community, not just OpenAI, but Meta and Google and so on, right? So we see
a lot of change, a lot of updates, a lot of smart people.
Exactly.
A lot of money, a lot of effort, right? And these are smart people. I follow 25,000 people on X.com who are in AI. A lot of them have PhDs. These are not people you meet in the street. These are really high-end people.
And I think that is the difference between this Web3, the Web3, the Bitcoin, and blockchain, and this AI. Right now we have, I think, an extreme concentration of talents into this domain. People no longer talk about blockchain.
Well, I follow about 6,000 people.
but
it's not the same.
It's not the same. And I would say
and
that
when you look at
80%.
the bios of people in each community, I mean, go through my AI list. It's like PhD, Carnegie Mellon, Stanford, University of Illinois, University of Shanghai, right? These are people who are very, very educated and educated at math and science at a level that very few people are, right?
Definitely.
My friend can write math equations on a whiteboard for how an autonomous car or how a car would go through an intersection. That's not a normal person. I can't do that.
Even parents.
Maybe you can do that. I can't do that.
There is a extreme concentration of talents.
Yeah.
Putting, focus on this AI nowadays. We didn't have that with every other technology.
Yeah.
Even blockchain, right?
Yeah. And it's the smartest people in every industry. There's people doing drug discovery. I just saw that, agriculture is being done with AI. Mining is being done. It's just every industry is getting changed by this. And it's the smartest people in that industry who are using the AI, right?
Definitely.
Because if you're smart, you're looking around going, oh my, that's a good tool or a good thing to use for running our business.
Yeah.
So anyway, where do we find you on the web?
So I have Twitter. I'm not very active, but once in a while I use Twitter or X. Yeah.
And what about your business? Where do we find? Where do we try your service out?
Yeah. So best thing for me, best thing to try is actually So as I mentioned to you, this is the 10th month. Being in the U.S. trying to find my U.S. market fit, right?
Yeah.
First product that we developed for the U.S. market is when I came here, I realized that people have to deal with tax return and managing invoices and so on.
Yeah.
Not only for businesses but also for individuals. So
bought something wrong at Costco, you need to take it back.
Yeah. So we developed some product we call Keepy. And if you have an invoice, instead of gathering the invoices in a box, and then at the end of the year you have to scramble around a few days and trying to organize it. Now you can just shoot. There are 3 ways that you can shoot the invoice.
Yeah.
To this Keepy. And instantly within a minute you get back a Google spreadsheet where you have the e-invoice stored for you.
Yeah.
On the cloud, and we do OCR under the hood, and categorize the expenses for you. So I think this is the best way to try the product that we design for the US market.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I hate expense reports.
I know.
So you just take a picture of the expense report, the expense, and it'll make me an expense report.
Yeah. If you have a receipt, you can try.
All right.
Yeah. One of the way. Either you send, keep@keepy.us, that is email UX.
Yeah.
Or even, you don't have, the beauty of this is that you don't have to install anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep your own way. Keep your own way, right? If you're happy with email, use email. If you're happy with SMS, use SMS. If you are on Messenger, send to Messenger. And we are opening up, other channels, for example, WhatsApp and so on. So that's, I believe that could be an interesting UX for people to use AI.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.